That's the end of the season. What a journey. So, just to get my thoughts off about the first 6 episodes I didn't have a chance to review, the series had a much better start than the Clone Wars and especially the Rebels. Clone Wars had hit and miss episodes that generally got better as the seasons went along, and Rebels got better at the end of season 1 and after season 2 when Maul and the Mandalorian show up and Kanan gets blinded. So, The Mandalorian, conversely, is bucking these trends with a strong opening season, with little to no pitfalls. My least favorite episode was the one with Bill Burr. I admit I love seeing him on screen, but his acting wasn't as high quality as the others, so he sort of stood out to me. That whole story felt like a bit of a waste of time. The end of that episode was cool with the rebel bombardment, but the episode sort of felt like padding. It had a cool concept, which was space bank robbing, but maybe I just wanted the Mando to murk all of them at the end, but that's just me. Everything else was pretty solid, save for Dune. More on that in a minute. Anyways, back onto episode 8. It's really good, it's really action-packed, lots of fighting throughout. So let's do a quick recap. Beware that there's spoilers. So we start with Baby Yoda being taken by probably the 2 funniest scout troopers ever. They're sort of just shooting the shit, figuratively and literally, give these boys their own episode. And literally, a few minutes later, we see what is probably the nicest assassin's shirt ever save the day. Looks like they're not getting their own episode. And then we cut to our heroes pinned down in the bar. So eventually the bad guys send in 3 waves of references, one of them being a rather obscure one, a flame trooper from The Force Unleashed. Then an E-Web turret, which, yes, it was in other Star Wars films and content, but it was also featured in The Force Unleashed, so I'm calling it a Force Unleashed reference.
Will advise you that she has witnessed many of her ranks vaporized mid-descent.
And Death Troopers, which was, for a change, not from The Force Unleashed, but from Rogue One, seemingly the only good Star Wars movie. Now, I'm not against the Force Unleashed references, it's a great game, but recently the folks over at LucasFilm have been stealing a hell of a lot of Force Unleashed material, especially if you've seen the ending of the Force Unleashed 1 and the ending of the recent Star Wars movie, Star Wars Episode 9. Also, some character backstory is revealed in the episode. We see Mando's face and some new things relating to the history of the Mandalorians and their tradition. Which is pretty cool because the Clone Wars, they are varying factions of Mandalorians, like the Pacifists, the Death Watch, and the True Mandalorians. But we never see much into the culture, just the goals of these groups and not really their identities. So it's pretty cool to get more insight on one of the most interesting groups in the Star Wars galaxy. A nitpick of the standoff scene and the ensuing fight is this part. I wish that Death Trooper put up more of a fight, but that's just the fanboy in me wanting a sick Super Trooper fight. In Rogue One, those Death Troopers were unstoppable, and the ones who fight Mando should have just tipped over for all the fight they put up. And Mando himself has a bit of development and a touching moment with the droid.
No, we need you.
There's nothing to be sad about. I've never been alive.
I'm not sad.
Yes, you are.
You're too manly to cry, Mando. You're too manly to cry. And later, with one of the last of his kind, damn, he's responsible for the destruction of a pocket of his people, and now he has to give up the last thing he has that resembles family? Wow. So 2 highlights of this I liked was his jetpack scene, which, fuck yeah, go Boba Fett, and the return of the Darksaber, which, how did it get here? Did he kill Bo-Katan? I hope that gets answered later on. So, just some side notes I want to run through. Firstly, Imps. What a fun name for the Imperials. Speaking of the Imperials, dude, their armor. I know it's been said that their armor sucks, but what the hell? Why does the armor shatter when it's getting hit by a fucking hammer? I know it's Veskar and she's probably ripped under the armor, but god damn, give these poor bastards an upgrade. Those Imperial budget cuts and safety violations are fucking killing people. Another thing I noticed about the series I liked is the duality of the character of Mando. The most obvious one being the way Baby Yoda holds on to Mando the way he did when he was rescued. Or the way the town gets attacked by an aggressive force, only to be pushed back by the Mandalorian and his family. And of course, it actually had some pretty interesting but flawed characters, which made them way more human. It's all pretty solid stuff here. My only problem with the episode, and by extension the whole season, is actually Cara. Now, I like how she's physically strong. She comes off like she's a soldier, like a rugged commando, which is cool. She's not like the Wonder Woman actress who, or even like the chick who plays Captain Marvel who refuses to work out. She actually looks the part of a soldier. But, you can call me wrong, she doesn't really have an arc. She's a tough girl at the start and a tougher girl by the end. The Mando has learned to open up more to people, revealing his face to a droid, caring about the kid, and others he's encountered. Hell, even the Guildmaster had some development. Basically money hungry. A money hungry dickhead. Slightly less money hungry now. Maybe even a scoundrel with a heart of gold. But Cara, nothing. She doesn't really change or grow. She feels like she's there to satisfy people who I don't believe can be satisfied. Don't get me wrong, she isn't terrible as an actress. Her character is flat. I hope they give her character more depth, and yes, I know why she hates the Empire. She was from Alderaan, but scenes where it looks like development is about to happen, like that exchange from the last episode with Krill.
Rumors of
What? When you work for the Empire?
when I was sold to the Empire in indentured servitude.
Yet somehow you walk free.
I bought my freedom through the skill of my hands and the labor of 3 of your human lifetimes.
Just forgotten. Or it doesn't seem to have much going for it, or it has much of an impact. I mean, hell, they tried to explain her entire backstory for hating the Empire by referencing Alderaan, which, again, is fine, but it doesn't replace good character development. The Empire's been destroyed, so, you know. And back to Krill. I mean, technically, he actually saved their lives with the IG unit, so... Which, again, this guy was an Imperial who saved her, and that never dawns on her, or at least it doesn't look like it ever dawns on her, because without an Imperial, she would be dead. It's a great first season, though. With some hiccups, it is solid. It ekes out over The Witcher on Netflix, which is mostly because of the better characters and music. Which, fuck yeah, by the way, that theme. It's honestly a pretty great first season. Am I right? It's awesome. It's really good. It has great sets, great sequences, and like I said, a great soundtrack to go with it all. But it needs to improve Cara, which I don't know if she's even coming back for season 2 because she stays behind on Navarro. I actually like the Rebel Commando angle they're going for. I always wanted to see more of those guys, but it really only serves as an explanation of her skills more so than anything. I'm excited for season 2 and I can't wait to see it. But again, they need to do a better job at explaining these characters. It felt like episode 8 was a little dense in character background, that they tried to essentially explain entire characters with only a handful of explanations, especially Cara. But I really did like this episode, and I hope you guys did too. And I'm all ready for season 2. Like, subscribe, and comment. Bye.
You have suffered damage to your central processing unit.
You mean my brain?
That was a joke. It is meant to put you at ease.